Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy Keaton, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Link is in the box below. Second mock draft of the season. As you guys saw my last mock draft, I decided to explain each player, where I think they'll go, their strengths and weaknesses of that player. I'm not going to explain that in this video. I want to keep this as short as possible, explain maybe the first 10, 15 picks, and then go on the rest of my draft. So without further ado, this is my first round mock draft 2.0. But before we get into my first overall pick, I want to talk about a few quarterbacks here: Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, and Justin Fields. I believe Russell Wilson will be a Pittsburgh Steeler next year. I believe Kirk Cousins will stay in Minnesota. I believe Baker Mayfield will stay in Tampa Bay. And I believe Justin Fields will be an Atlanta Falcon next year. So just some predictions I wanted to throw out there before I get into the video here. So without further ado, let's move on here. With the first overall pick, I have the Chicago Bears selecting Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC. Pretty much a no-brainer here. You guys pretty much know where I'm going with this, with the top three picks here. With the second overall pick, the Washington Commanders will be selecting quarterback Drake May out of North Carolina. Another no-brainer pick. Washington needs a quarterback. I don't think that, they just need a quarterback here. I just don't think that Sam Howell is the guy for them long term. I think Drake May comes in there and steps in, and it's obviously an upgrade over Sam Howell and what they have on the roster already. With the third overall pick, the New England Patriots will be selecting quarterback Jaden Daniels out of LSU. They need a quarterback here. I mean, Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi aren't the answers for the New England Patriots long term. Now, there's some stuff saying where they could go Marvin Harrison Jr. here, but the problem is, who is going to be throwing Marvin Harrison Jr. football? I mean, what quarterback is going to come to New England? I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to come to New England. I think he's going to stay put right where he is in Minnesota. I think Justin Fields is going to go to Atlanta, just like what I said at the beginning. So Jaden Daniels, I think this is a no-brainer here for the New England Patriots. They do take quarterback here at pick number 3. With the Arizona Cardinals, at the 4th pick, they will be taking Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver at Ohio State. This is a phenomenal pickup for Kyler Murray, who I think will make the Cardinals obviously better. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to elevate the Cardinals offense. Kyler Murray is going to rely on him a lot to make plays down the field in late game situations, all of that stuff. So Marvin Harrison pretty much has what it takes to play in the NFL here. So I like that pick for the Cardinals. With the 5th overall pick, the Los Angeles Chargers will be selecting Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. This is a no-brainer, obviously. This is another weapon that you can give to Justin Herbert. Jim Harbaugh, obviously, is the coach there. And I think Brock Bowers brings another demeanor to that offense and just makes them even more explosive. This is something that Justin Herbert hasn't had. So what better way than to bring Brock Bowers into that situation, along with Jim Harbaugh being there as coach, which I think is a phenomenal pickup for them. With the 6th overall pick, the New York Giants will be selecting wide receiver Malik Nabers out of LSU. This is another pick where I think Daniel to a long-term deal last offseason, so you have to continue to give him the weapons on the offensive side. There's some people that think that Jaden Daniels is going to follow this pick. I just don't think that makes sense for the Giants. I mean, why get Jaden Daniels when you just signed Daniel Jones to a long-term deal last offseason? So you continue to give Daniel Jones the requisite help on the offensive end. I think this makes sense. Malik Nabers is an explosive wide receiver who could pretty much do anything offensively, and arguably could be one of the best, if not the best receiver in this draft. We'll see what happens there, but this is a player I think that could really excites the Giants fan base here. So I really like this pick for the Giants there at pick 6. Pick number 7. I have the Tennessee Titans selecting Joe Alt, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. This is another one of those picks where, Will Levis is the future of the Tennessee Titans, which I've been saying in the past that he's a dog. I think he is the future of this team. So what better way than to give him the requisite help in Joe Alt at offensive tackle, who can give him time to throw the ball down the field, as Will Levis did struggle towards the end of the year with protection, not getting the ball out in time. So getting a guy like Joe Alt can make things a lot easier for Will Levis to make the throws to his receivers down the field. With the 8th overall pick, I have the Atlanta Falcons choosing edge rusher Jared Verse out of Florida State. I think this is a good pickup for the Falcons, which I think they will go edge rusher here, and then they'll trade for Justin Fields for a quarterback there. So I think they're heading in the right direction here. They just need the quarterback, as I don't think Desmond Ridder is the answer for them going forward. As you've seen last year, just throwing the ball away or just throwing the ball in the wrong spots, just putting the ball in harm's way. So you need a new quarterback there. I think Justin Fields really fits in with that team and with the personnel that they have there already. With the 9th overall pick, I have the Chicago Bears selecting wide receiver Roman Dunze out of Washington. Another one of those picks where Caleb Williams is the quarterback, and you continue to surround him with weapons on the outside. So Roman Dunze and the rest of those Bears receivers will make life easier for Caleb Williams to pick his spots and get the ball to his receivers. So I think this is a great pickup. Explosive receiver who I think fits in with what the Bears want to do there. With the 10th pick, I have the New York Jets selecting tackle Lou Fashanu out of Penn State. Another one of those situations where Aaron Rodgers' first 4 plays or so last year was sacked, tore his Achilles, didn't get the protection that he needs. So what better way than to get Lou Fashanu tackle, one of the, if not the best tackle in this draft, with that 10th overall pick. I think Aaron Rodgers would really appreciate him being on his team to protect him at all costs. With the 11th pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Jerzon Newton, defensive end out of Illinois. This is a great pickup for the Minnesota Vikings. You can make an argument that they could go quarterback here. Kirk Cousins, I believe, will return for at least 2 years. It wouldn't hurt to bring in a rookie quarterback to maybe sit behind Kirk Cousins, who's one of the best veteran quarterbacks in the league. Sit behind Kirk Cousins for a year or two, develop, let him learn, and then take over when it's time for Kirk Cousins to go. That wouldn't be a bad plan also, but I like Jerzon Newton. I think he fits in well with this Vikings team. I think he will take this team to another level as he is very efficient at getting to the quarterback. So that's a great pickup there for the Vikings. I like that pick for them. With the 12th overall pick, I have the Denver Broncos selecting J.J. McCarthy, quarterback out of Michigan. This is one of those situations where Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, their relationship is completely broken. And Russell Wilson is pretty much gone there. So I think the Denver Broncos have to hit on this draft here at quarterback. I think J.J. McCarthy, given his successes at Michigan, I think he fits in perfectly with Sean Payton-led offense. And Sean Payton has had nothing but high praises for J.J. McCarthy. So I really like this pick for the Denver Broncos as they continue to try to reload this team here on that side of the ball, as they do have a pretty solid defense already. They just need a quarterback who can fit the description there in Denver. With the 13th pick, I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting cornerback Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. I think Nate Wiggins fits perfectly with Antonio Pierce and just the personnel on the defense. He's one of the best cornerbacks in this draft, in my opinion. And I think the Raiders would appreciate his services being on the defense, as they do need help in the back end there of that defense. 14th overall pick, the New Orleans Saints will be selecting tackle Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. Another one of those situations where Derek Carr is still under contract. So what better way than to give him a tackle who can give him time to throw the ball down the field. Fuaga is a physical specimen who I think fits in tremendously with the Saints on the Saints team. Like I said, his size to be able to hold himself accountable, to be able to just be physical and do the dirty work up front and do whatever it takes to give the quarterback time to throw the ball down the field. So I really like this pick for the New Orleans Saints at pick 14. Pick 15, the Indianapolis Colts will be selecting cornerback Teron Arnold out of Alabama. Like I said, you can make a case that they could go offensive tackle. At least Fuaga could possibly come here in Indianapolis. But I really like Teron Arnold. I think he fits the description. I think he fits in tremendously with this Colts defense. And I think he can definitely take this defense, knowing his skill set, and elevate the defense and make them even better on that side of the ball. The Seattle Seahawks at pick 16, they will be taking edge rusher Dallas Turner out of Alabama. I mean, I believe Seattle is going to be going mostly defense in this draft as they really struggled last year, especially towards the end of the year. Dallas Turner really brings another demeanor to the Seahawks. I think he fits in with what the coaching staff wants to do. And they're going to be looking to focus more on the defensive-oriented team. They're going to be relying on the defense to win them games. They still need to find a quarterback, in my opinion, whether that's JJ McCarthy or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if some people have had him going to Seattle, but I really like Dallas Turner with this pick, as they do need to improve on that side of the ball on defense. And that's going to do it for. I'm just going to continue going on with the draft here. I'm not going to continue to go on and on about each player, so I'm just going to get through the rest of the draft as quick as possible here. With pick 17, I believe it will be edge rusher Laiatu Latu. With pick 18, I believe the Cincinnati Bengals will be going offensive tackle here. If I can find him, it will be Amarius Mims. Give me a second here. Out of Georgia. There we go. Like I said, Joe Burrow is the franchise quarterback there. He needs all the protection he needs. It's very, very important that he gets all protection at all costs. You got to protect your franchise quarterback in Joe Burrow. You can make an argument that they could go wide receiver because they are potentially going to lose T. Higgins in free agency. We'll see if the Bengals franchise tag him or if they trade him somewhere else. I don't know what the case is, but I think the most important thing is protecting your franchise quarterback at all costs in Joe Burrow. So I really like this pick of Amarius Mims. He has the size, 6'7", 300 plus pounds. I think he fits in, very physical. I think he fits in perfectly in this division and with what the Bengals want to do on that side. So give him Amarius Mims to the Bengals at pick 18. Pick 19, I have the Los Angeles Rams picking Kool-Aid McKinstry. The Pittsburgh Steelers at pick 20, I have them picking a cornerback, and it will be Quinion Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. This is another one of those picks where Pittsburgh needs to add some depth on that side of the ball at that position. This is a great pickup for the Steelers. Quinion Mitchell can go next to Joey Porter Jr., who had a phenomenal year last year. But like I said, I think those two together, they can work together. They can make the Steelers defense even more elite on that side, which they have been already with TJ Watt on that side of the ball. So if adding Quinion Mitchell to the back end there of that defense is going to make them that more elite, that much more scary. So I really like that pick for the Steelers at pick 20. Pick 21, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting an offensive tackle here, and it will be J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Another situations where Tua's probably going to get that extension, about 40, 50 million, I would say. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but he will get extended. So what better way than to give him a tackle that can protect him? Even though Tua does do a good job of getting the ball out quickly, it's still important to be able to protect them at all costs, as it's really important to keep him healthy throughout the season. So give J.C. Latham to the Miami Dolphins. I think it makes a ton of sense here to take him with that pick. With the 22nd overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles will be selecting Cooper DeJean, cornerback out of Iowa. This is a perfect pick for the Philadelphia Eagles as they desperately need help on that side of the ball. They really struggled throughout the season. Really got burnt throughout the season. Really ever since that 49er game when they gave up 42 points. And they just haven't really recovered on defense. Cooper DeJean really fits the description. He's a dude that's at the right spots at the right time. He does everything the right way. He's very disciplined on the side. He has a size. He's quick. And he's a versatile player. He can play cornerback. He can also play punt returner. As you've seen in his highlights, he does a spectacular job with punt returns and just doing his job the right way. So I really like that pick for the Eagles as they desperately need help in the back end of that defense. With the 23rd overall pick, the Houston Texans will be selecting Byron Murphy II. Really like that pick for the Texans as they need to continue to improve on the defense there. You can make an argument they could go wide receiver, but Byron Murphy II, a lot of Texans fans really want him there. I believe he fits the description there with that 23rd overall pick. With the 24th overall pick, I have the Dallas Cowboys selecting Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon, as he's had a spectacular Senior Bowl. I think he fits in tremendously with what the Cowboys want to do there. Very physical, and another player that can protect Dak Prescott for him to have more time to get the ball down the field. With the 25th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers will be selecting Troy Fautanu, tackle out of Washington. Perfect pick for the Packers, as Jordan Love had a pretty solid year at quarterback. It's really important to keep him protected at all costs. So why not get a guy like Troy Fautanu, who has size, very physical, and can hold his own up front there at tackle. With the 26th overall pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be selecting Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. This is a no-brainer pick. You look at the situation, Mike Evans is most likely going to leave in free agency. So you have to be able to discuss that position there for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another weapon that Baker Mayfield can rely upon at the end of games. So I really like this pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at pick 26. Pick number 27, I have the Arizona Cardinals selecting tackle Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. Another one of those picks where, it's a tackle that could protect Kyler Murray. I really like the two picks, Marvin Harrison Jr., another weapon that Kyler Murray can rely upon at the end of the games, and then the tackle, continue to beef up the offensive line and protect Kyler Murray at all costs, as he has a full off season now to get healthy and get the chemistry going with his new players. So I really like this pick for the Cardinals. Pick 28, the Buffalo Bills will be selecting wide receiver, as it's one of those situations where Stephon Diggs is probably going to leave, in my opinion. So I believe the Buffalo Bills will pick Xavier Legette, wide receiver out of South Carolina. One of those situations where Legette is a physical specimen at 6'3", 6'4", who can make 50-50 catches down the field. And I think he fits in with a Josh Allen-led offense. Josh Allen he can pass in the pocket. He can scramble across the field. He loves making taking risks down the field by throwing the football. And Xavier Legette can just go up and grab the ball with his hands using his physical frame and all that stuff. So I think he fits in tremendously with the Buffalo Bills, as they do need to address the wide receiver spot there, as Stephon Diggs just went MIA for most of the season. Pick 29, the Detroit Lions will be going edge rusher here. They do need a lot of help, especially on the defense. And I believe they will be going with Chop Robinson here at the 29th pick. I think he fits in tremendously with this Lions team and what they want to do. And stuff like that. So, watching his highlights, he gets off the ball really, really quick. He's very efficient against the quarterback. And Detroit Lions, this is something they desperately need. You can make an argument they could go cornerback. They do need help in the back end, but I really, really like this pick. I think he fits in well with a Dan Campbell-led team. Very physical, very disruptive, and he can get to the quarterback efficiently. So I like that pick for the Lions there, pick 29. Pick number 30, I really like the Baltimore Ravens here, going more towards the defensive side. Even though they did already have one of the best defenses in the league, I still think adding this player would make them even better and more elite on that side. And that's T'Vondre Sweat, defensive end out of Texas. I think he fits in tremendously with this Ravens team. This is, like I said, this is one of the best defenses last year. Ravens, what did they rely upon mostly? The defense. And like I said, I think he fits in tremendously with what they have going on already in Baltimore. The Sweat can get to the quarterback efficiently with his size, with his speed, and all that stuff. I think he just fits the bill, fits the description with what the Ravens want to do on the side, as they do need to continue to keep that defense above water and keep that defense more elite as they try to make a Super Bowl run next year, even though it's going to be difficult in a tough AFC. With the 31st overall pick, I have the San Francisco 49ers going offensive tackle here. They don't really have much holes but I really like them going with Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. I mean, another one of those guys that's very tall, very, physical up front, who can hold his own, who I think is going to benefit Brock Purdy to have more time to get the ball down the field and things of that nature. So I think he fits in what the 49ers want to do. I don't know if he's going to be a day one starter, though, but I think he definitely fits in to what the 49ers want to do as a team and all that stuff. And with the last pick of the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs will be going with a wide receiver, and that will be Troy Franklin out of Oregon. I just think this pick makes a whole bunch of sense for the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though the Chiefs did make their Super Bowl run and win the Super Bowl, I just believe that they need to address this position. I think Patrick Mahomes would really appreciate having a guy like him on his team, who's a speedster. He's one of the fastest receivers in this draft. I think he will fit in perfectly with this Chiefs offense as they continue to make their dynasty push here. And that's going to do it for my first round mock draft. What picks would you guys would have changed? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down in the comment section. As of right now, these are my first round mock draft picks: Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Jared Verse, Roman Dunze, Olu Fashanu, Jerzon Newton, JJ McCarthy, Nate Wiggins, Talise Fuaga, Teron Arnold, Dallas Turner, Leatu Latu, Amarius Mims, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Quinion Mitchell, J.C. Latham, Cooper DeJean, Byron Murphy II, Jackson Powers Johnson, Troy Fatanu, Brian Thomas Jr., Jordan Morgan, Xavier Legette, Chop Robinson, Tavontre Sweat, Tyler Guyton, and Troy Franklin for my first round mock draft. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Would really appreciate it. Help me get to 500 subs here. I'm right there, about 3 subs away from 500. It means a lot. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. As always, peace out. Have a good one, everyone.